Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack the code on something that trips up pretty much everyone learning English. When do you say I do something versus when you say I am doing something? Stick around, and I promise you'll get the hang of it in just a few minutes.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with this question. What are you doing? You could answer, I read a book. Or you could say, I am reading a book. Now, both of those are grammatically correct, but they mean completely different things. So what's the deal? Well, that's exactly what we're going to untangle today.
All right, so the secret to getting this right, the real key, is this super simple idea. Just think of it as the everyday versus the now. That's it. One tense is for all the normal, routine parts of our life, and the other is for what's happening this very second. Let's break it down. But before we get into the when, we've got to know the how. How are these tenses even built? And honestly, it's kind of like a recipe. Once you know the basic ingredients, you can put them together perfectly every single time. So take a look at this table. For present simple, the thing to notice is how that little helper verb do or does just pops up for negatives and questions. But for present continuous, the magic formula is always the verb to be. So am, is, or are teamed up with a main verb that has that ing ending. That be plus ing combo, that's your big clue right there.
All right, we've got the formulas down. But now for the important part, the part that really matters, the rules of the game. When exactly do you use each one?
So, first up, present simple. Think of this as your tense for all the stuff that's just true, the solid, stable things in life. We're talking about your daily routines, like I brush my teeth twice a day, or just, facts about the world, like the sun rises in the east. It's the stuff you can count on, right? And hey, here's a little pro tip, a cheat sheet for you. If you see words like always, usually, every day, or on Mondays, think of them as giant, blinking neon signs telling you that you're probably in present simple territory. They're all about habits and routines. Okay, so that's the everyday. Now let's flip the coin and look at its partner, the present continuous. This one is all about the now. It's for actions happening this very moment, for situations that are just temporary, and even for what's trending, like everyone is talking about that new show. And you guessed it, present continuous has its own set of signal words. When you hear things like now, at the moment, or this week, your brain should immediately go, aha, this is temporary. This is happening right now. It's an action in progress. All right, theory's great and all, but let's see how this stuff actually works in the wild. This is where the light bulb really goes on, when you see them side by side in real sentences. This is just a perfect example. I work from 9 to 5. That tells us about your job in general. It's your routine. But I'm working from home this week. See? That flags that this is just a temporary thing. It's true for now, but maybe not forever. See the difference here? On the left, he plays tennis every Saturday. That's his habit. It's what he does. But on the right, he's playing tennis right now. That means if you looked out the window this very second, you'd see him on the court. One's a routine, the other is happening as we speak. Simple as that. Okay, you're doing awesome. You've pretty much got it. But now let's cover a few pro tips to help you sidestep some common traps. Nailing these will really make you sound like a natural. Okay, let's tackle a huge one. You hear this all the time, but I want you to see it right here in bright red so it really sinks in. I am knowing Spanish. It just sounds kind of off, doesn't it? And that's because it absolutely is wrong. The correct version is just, I know Spanish. Super simple. But the big question is why? Let's dig in. So here's the deal. It all comes down to something called stative verbs. These are verbs that describe a state, not an action. Think of it this way. Knowing isn't an action like running. It's a state you're in. You can't really be in the middle of knowing something. Same with verbs like, believe, or prefer. They stick with the present simple. And hey, 2 more super quick tips to really lock this in. First, for he, she, or it in the present simple, remember to always use does for your questions and negatives. Does he like tea? And second, keep an eye on your spelling with that ing ending. Sometimes you gotta double a letter like in running, or drop one like in making. So, look, after everything we've talked about, if you walk away with just one thing, please let it be this. It's this simple. Present simple is for the everyday, your habits, your facts, your routines. Present continuous is for the now, what's happening in this moment. That's it. That's the whole game. Okay, now it's your turn. Time to make this real.
Ask yourself this question. What is one thing you do every single day? And what's one thing you are doing just this week? Seriously, give it a shot. Answering that question is the absolute best way to make this stuff stick in your brain for good. Awesome job today. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer.